Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video I am going to show you how I color acorns with water-based markers and some pencils on top. This is Flora and Fauna kleurboek by Maria Trolle. This is the Dutch edition and I have already made a coloring tutorial how I did the oak leaves. I will put it on the right side corner if you're interested in. So I will clean up my desk and we will get started. Okay, so the page we are working on is page 61 in this book. In the index you can see it is like a summery oak, but yeah, I'm in an autumn mood lately, so I wanted to do this between summer and maybe the beginning of autumn. So I tried to add some brown colors to the page as well. I'm going to use my cheat sheet, what I used for the other acorns. So these were acorns I did in a different way, but I wasn't happy how I colored them. So I'm going to show you how I did these three oaks. So these were the best ones I've got. So I'm going to show you those. I am going to use the Staedtler Pigment brush pens. So these are water-based markers with some ink. So that means they are permanent once they dried. And I really like this water-based markers. They are my favorites together with the Faber-Castell pit pens. One of the reasons is they have a good color range. They aren't as expensive as the pit pens and they have a great brush nib. So I really like brush nibs to work with. You can add small detailing and you can do bigger areas at the same time. So I really like this one. These are available now in 60 colors. So everything I show you in this video, books, supplies, I will mention it in the description box. Also, again, the coloring pencils and the colors I used are in the description box as well. Just for myself. And I used the Polychromos pencils for the shading on top. 3 colors, and then I used a Prismacolor white because the white of my Faber-Castell set is just completely done. So I used the Prismacolor pencil, but you can use the Polychromos pencil. You can use any pencil brand you want. Just make sure that your pencil is, I think, almost the same color as the water-based marker you're trying to blend. So we will see it in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys in on these acorns and we'll get started. Okay, here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is base our acorns with the water-based markers. So I used 4 colors. You can choose to do it with 2, you can choose to do it with 5, whatever you like, but I like to do as much colors as I can because then I have to do less pencil work on top. Okay, so I'm going to start with the head of the acorn. So this is just the pastel green and I'm just going to base this top of the acorn. I'm going to do 3 at the same time because water-based markers need a little bit of a drying time, not a lot, just maybe a minute or 2, but it has to be completely dry before you go on top of it with coloring pencils. Otherwise you're going to dent the paper and you're not going to be able to blend. It's not going to pick up the pigment because your tooth is wet and it's going to dent in. Okay, so that's the first color. And then I take the willow green. I'm going to try to do this in frame. So willow green. And what we're going to do is just at the bottom and a little bit to the top. So an acorn is like a ball, so it is 3-dimensional. So we have to make the illusion that it is a round object. So I have a tutorial on that as well. I will link it in the right hand corner. So the trick with a round object is that you make your lights very light and your darks very dark. Okay, so for the head of the acorn, it's not that important, but for the acorn itself, it is important that the darts are very dark and there is a high contrast. Okay, then for the acorn itself, for basing, I use sienna raw. So over here you have like a little bit of a shading. I don't know if this was like the light source, yes or no. I'm just going to do it on the other side. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to be the lightest part of my acorn, and I'm going to color it in. Same thing over here, just a circle. And again over here. Very simple. And then we're going to take our darker brown. It is the burnt sienna. And then we're going to color in the rest of the acorn. Just go around the lighter brown. Trust the process with water-based markers. The only thing that is important is that you lay down color in places you want that color to be. The blending is for the coloring pencils. You can blend with water-based markers, but that really depends on the paper. In this book, it isn't working that well. I used it in a mythographic book and a Tomislav Tomic book, and that worked like a charm. But here we have to do a little bit more effort for coloring. Okay, so we're going to give this 1 second to dry and I will be back with you in 2 minutes. Okay, I think it's dry now. So we're going to start with our May green 170, and we're just going to blend in these 2 types of green. So if I put a reference picture on the screen, you see that the cap is quite light. So we're going to keep it light. Okay, I'm going to do the 1 acorn at a time. That's maybe a little bit easier. So just blend in. You don't have to do a lot of pressure, just a soft to medium pressure. Depending on what pencil you're using, and just blend this in. Okay, then we're going to take our burnt sienna, and then we're going to blend in the darkest and the lightest brown together. So this is just a very soft pressure. It's not exactly the same color as the water-based markers, but it really doesn't mind. This is just because of the lighting, I don't see if it is well blended or not. Okay, so that's actually it. Then we're going to take the dark sepia, and what we're going to do is we're going here underneath the head of the acorn. So this is a darker part because it is overlapping, and because you're doing a round object, we're going to take a very small side on this one because the light source is to this side. So this is a very small bit of dark coloring pencil, and then at this side a little bit wider. So here you need a little bit more of the darkest color. Okay, and then we're going to take our burnt sienna again, and if you want, and the color isn't matching 100%, you can blend it in with the darkest color, just some light pressure. You don't need a lot, the pigment is there already, it is just for to blend it in like this. And I use a little bit of the burnt sienna at the bottom over here of the head, just to make it not all green, like this. Okay, then we'll take our white pencil and we're going to add a little highlight over here, just at the side, so you have the lightest brown. It's going to be on the right side because our light source is going to be on this side. So just a little bit of white over here. That's it. And what we're going to do, we're going to take our water-based marker, the burnt sienna, so the dark brown, and we're going to add a little bit of dotting on the cap. So as you see in the reference picture, you have just a little bit of brown stippling, and we're going to do that as well. It just makes it a little bit more interesting. If you don't like this step, you don't have to do it, but if you have a fine liner, even better. But this is actually everything you have to do. Okay, so we're going to do one acorn again together, and then I'm going to do the 3 other ones on camera, but just without any comments. It's just the same principle. So the May green, I'm going to blend in the green. You don't have to do a lot. Okay, then we're going to take our burnt sienna, going to blend in the darkest brown and our light brown together. Okay, the same color we're going to use at the bottom of the cap, like this. Then we're going to take our dark sepia underneath the head of the acorn. The light source is on this side, so this side is going to be very thin, and this is a little bit further away, like this. My air conditioning is just active, so I hope it isn't, if you don't hear it on camera. And then we're going to blend in just a little bit extra. You don't have to do this step if your color is matching perfectly, but yeah, I haven't got that luxury, so I'm just going to do a little bit of brown here on the bottom, on the top as well. I don't know what this is, the attachment of the branch, I think, but it's just, yeah, to add some brown. And then again with the darkest brown, just some stippling on the cap, like this, and a little bit of a white highlight on the right side of the lightest bit of the acorn. Okay, so we did like an acorn in 1 minute. So if you have a very repetitive page, this is going very fast. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest on camera, but I'm going to do it without any commentary. I'm not going to put this video on music. Just take your own playlist, your podcast, listen to whatever you like, or just do it in silence like I like to color. And we will see each other in the next video. Thank you for watching and happy coloring.